What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Social Club. You know, everybody's got a voice. I'm your host, Serg, and today we're going to be ripping a bit of a Band-Aid off. I don't think we got to beat around the bush about it. I think it's pretty cut and dry. I feel like we can really just call it for what it is. Things in Kansas City looking real bad right now. I mean, it ranges from so many different areas, as if all the losses of the season weren't enough, that we then lose our superstar quarterback, we then lose our backup quarterback, we then lose to the Tennessee Titans in just utterly disgusting fashion. It's code red in Kansas City. Before we get into all the good stuff today, guys, you know the deal. Let's pay the bills around this joint. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button down below. Make sure you follow on all the social media platforms. We will have Twitter going up in the new year. I guess if you want to call it X, whatever the hell it is you kids call it nowadays. Facebook, YouTube, you guys know the deal. The more that you're there, the more that we've got to share. But let's unpack this. Let's unpack this, man. And first things first, let me get one thing straight. I'm still proud to be a Chief. I'm just not proud of these Chiefs. Because this is self-inflicted, okay? There were a lot of mistakes along the way. There were a lot of areas of concern that we could have buttoned up. But between lazy upper management and just lack of discipline, we just let the whole season get away from us. I mean, it's pretty ugly out there. I've been getting a whole lot of slack in the group chats and whatnot. I mean, it's been horrendous the last couple of weeks, especially about my take about it being a bounce back year. I think it's justified to say part of that take wasn't entirely wrong, because as I stated before, and I'll roll clip here on it too in a second, is that last year the offense looked concerning. It looked very, very concerning.
Nah, hold up. He just said bounce back here after going to the Super Bowl, man. These Chiefs fans are so fucking spoiled. That pissed me off.
Wait, you guys finished the three-peat.
Let's talk about it. Bounce back year. We went to the Super Bowl and what?
Lost.
Got embarrassed, right? And even throughout the regular season, did we win? Did we almost go undefeated? Sure. But let's talk about what? How many one-score games did we win?
So?
But if you look at the Chiefs in years past, it was a lot more of a dominant team. We were scraping by all those wins before.
Pete Chiefs fan right here. That believes they should win.
Look.
That's crazy.
Chiefs Kingdom, y'all know where I'm coming from with this. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yes, we won all those games by one score. We had like the streak of all time. That's great. That's wonderful. But look at how those games were won off pure dark magic. And just at the time, it seemed like we were just more disciplined in football than some of the other teams we were playing. You know, you get a few flags that might go our way, or you get a guy that jumps off sides or something like that, or we were able to get a block kick on Denver in the first matchup of last season. Like, things like that don't come often. And I said it last year, is that is gonna get exhausted, especially with that loss to Philly in the Super Bowl. Now, I had high hopes for a bounce back year. I think that's pretty evident. Hell, I even mapped out the whole season. Safe to say, that's out the window. I mean, it is bad in Kansas City. And if it wasn't enough, for our season to already be going horribly, we're not winning the division, we're now not making the playoffs, my guys are booking flights to Cancun, we lose our star quarterback. And what's even crazier about losing Patrick Mahomes is, if we're being frankly honest, this weekend did not help the case, because I question a lot of our offseason moves. You hear me nag about the whole Matt Nagy thing, no pun intended, but you hear me nag about that all the time. Another one that I always pondered, at least since he got here, Gardner Minshew. We looked at the Raiders that year and decided he seemed fit for a backup quarterback. We thought that he seemed to be competitive. This is what I mean by the little errors in upper management. There was no interest, zero interest in getting some type of competitive quarterback in the room, which I get. Patrick Mahomes is on his own level, but it's also nice to keep some fierce competition in the QB room. I mean, when you got Gardner Minshew as your backup and a guy that nobody's even heard of, it's his second start. Before he touched the field, they said he's had one attempted pass. I don't even think it was a completion. That's our third string quarterback. So let's rewind a bit. You already got Patrick Mahomes out. You got Gardner Minshew that's going to take the field with the guys, which, if you look at the injury list, I mean, it was a goddamn party in the trainer's room. It was a damn festival. I mean, we were out there playing on a hope and a prayer. We were out there playing like it was for a charity game. We were out there playing like we was trying to get enrolled in the Boys and Girls Club. I mean, just piss poor. Absolutely piss poor. It's appalling to see the fall off. And like, given I know who's leading the pack at that point is Gardner Minshew, but wow, before he got hurt, wow, Patrick. Oh my God. I mean, we always knew you had a really big impact on the offense, but wow. But if it wasn't enough for Gardner Minshew to suck, I mean, absolutely suck out there in the field, he tears his ACL. And I'm sort of looking at the TV like 2 weeks, back to back, first string and second string, we got torn ACLs, bro, like real life. So then we bring in our third string, Oladoku or Oladukin, whatever. He sounds like a goddamn Mortal Kombat character. I mean, I've never seen him play a snap of football. In the end of it all, we have no fighting chance. And without Patrick out there in the field, we have no spark. So what's that tell me? That means when the offseason comes around, these guys have to go to work. And they have to do it because Patrick deserves it, truthfully. I mean, the guy, what was it? The day after the injury, I'm pretty sure Monday, he flew down to Texas, got a second opinion on the injury, confirmed it. Pretty sure he got surgery same day. And then if that's not enough, he jumped up and hopped right into rehab the next day. And I'm pretty sure he's been in there every day this week. Like, we're a week away from when you just tore your ACL. He's already working back towards getting back next season. Which, speaking of, an ACL tear in the NFL has a scheduled 9 to 12 month recovery time. Usually, that's the time that you'd assume that they've had enough time to rest, recover, rehab, and be back to full speed. Me personally, I think Pat is either A, gonna push himself to be, or B, be heavily encouraged to be ready at full speed week 1 next season. And personally, I don't think that's the smartest idea. I think that unless we have a nuclear offseason, it's not the greatest idea. I get him back to playing football as soon as possible. He wants to take the snaps. He wants to get us back into being a, playoff contender, next year. But truthfully, I'm here to tell you that if the Chiefs don't make some major moves in the offseason, we will not be a playoff contender next year. And me personally, I don't want to risk the longevity of Patrick Mahomes' career, A, in general in the NFL, B, with the Chiefs, C, through his contract. We want to sustain his health as much as we can for as long as we're going to have this guy. So in my mind, we're probably loading a down year right now. Let him rest. If you really want to try to spark something up, get somebody competitive in the offseason, and no, that doesn't mean draft a quarterback. That means trade for somebody. It's one of those things where I don't think that he should rush that back. If it's week 5, week 6, and he's feeling good, great. But I don't think he's going to be ready week 1, and I think that he shouldn't try to be ready week 1 because we've given him no reason to. I mean, he's still out there giving his blood, sweat, and tears day in, day out for this organization, and they refuse to give him the resources that he needs to succeed. Which that actually takes me to my next segment, is that when we talk about these resources, those resources happen to be calling the plays. Now, in pretty recent news, Matt Nagy decided not to sign an extension with the Chiefs as their offensive coordinator. And I couldn't be happier. I really couldn't be happier because, oh my God, get him out of Kansas City. I've wanted this man gone for so long. Oh my gosh. And I pray this isn't one of those situations where Big Red's going to call it. Matt Nagy's going to try to take up to the head coach spot, because I could see the front office letting some dumb shit like that go by. Matt, get the out of Kansas City, brother. I would say you'll be missed. You won't. I mean, I'm throwing my shoe at you on the way out the door. Go and get, please. But that draws me to the next thing, is like, obviously we got to fill that gap. Who steps into that role? Personally, I have no clue. And I'd like to think there's just about anybody that could do a better job, given there's a few guys that I don't want to necessarily put in that position. But for the most part, I feel like there's a lot of guys that could do that job a lot better. And I think that in the offseason, we need to be scouting coaches that can match Patrick Mahomes' play style. Take it back to the air raid offense, like what we have with EB. I would love to have EB back, but at the same time, I don't think that, regressing, not necessarily regressing, but taking a step back in time isn't going to really propel us forward. Hence this whole situation with Matt Nagy, because he was on the Chiefs staff back in the 2010s. And we see how that's doing now in the 2020s after his return from Chicago. I still don't know what the hell we looked at Chicago and thought he's the guy to come on back to Kansas City. I'll never understand it. So you look at Matt Nagy, he's going to be probably out of there. Who do we fit in that spot? I'm not sure. I think that should be at the top of the Chiefs' priority list in the offseason. Before we even talk about players, we need to talk about who's going to be calling the plays for these players, and that needs to be filled immediately. Now, this brings me around to one of my last topics I want to cover, and it's mainly about what we do need to attack in the offseason. I think that the number one thing is the retirement party is finally here. Right, Travis? you're done. You're through because it's overdue. I love you. You've done amazing things for Chief Kingdom, but brother, you gotta hang it up. I know you and Jace was talking about it. He's like, it's gonna hit you when it hits you. No, to hell with that. Go ahead and hang it up. Once Travis, we got to get Travis out of the building. Love him, but he's not producing in this offense, and he's actually been more of a nuisance than he's been a benefit this year. You know, and the thing is, I'm frustrated because a lot of these things we could have addressed. We just really chose not to. The Breece Hall trade, I'm still sour as hell about that because we were too cheap and too proud to give up a 3rd round pick for Breece Hall. Keep in mind, we gave up a 3rd round pick for KT. We gave up a 3rd round pick for Kadarius Toney, but we wouldn't do it for Breece Hall. I'll never forgive the front office for that, ever. Clark Hunt, go to hell. Veach, I don't know what crawled up your ass that day. That was just straight up stupid. And Clark Hunt, shame on you for not catching that because one of you two should have been able to put 2 and 2 together and see that Breece Hall would have revitalized this offense's backfield. I mean, absolutely put the spark in it needed. But no, we will just continue to have no run game. So there's a lot of areas of concern. But what's even crazier is, as much as I wish we would have traded for Breece, that's not even the first thing we need to address. Offensive line. We can't block a damn thing. We got Ren and Stippy out there blocking for Patrick Mahomes. We got Peter Griffin out there blocking for Patrick Mahomes. We need a true offensive line. And not only that, we need a defensive line. Chris Jones, brother, you probably got 1 more year, if that. Like, you in that same bucket with Travis right about now. And you ain't been all that explosive this year. You've been taking plays off. You cost us the Jaguars game. I mean, you're at a level where you can't afford to take plays off. Look at Pat. Pat don't take plays off, man. He can't. You can't take plays off. He takes plays off, y'all. You got to get the fuck off of my team, bro. And even with him there, even when he is in his bag, it's still not enough. It's not nearly what we used to get out of Chris Jones, man. That defensive line, not creating pressure. We're not getting anybody in the backfield nervous at all, bro. Guys got time. And they are airing out our secondary, which then leads me to another issue. Our secondary. We've got great talent in the secondary, man. Don't get me wrong, but it's tough to guard anybody for 5-6 seconds when the quarterback's just got all the time in the world, scrambling in the background, dancing around, doing the damn hokey pokey and the cha-cha slide and everything else. It's hard to cover anybody at any level, high school, collegiate, professional. And there's a few guys out there that can do that. Not everybody can. But man, I'll tell you this, when it's not that situation, they just getting torched, it's bad. Them boys, them boys look bad. So we already got the offensive line need help. We got the defensive line need help. We got the secondary need help. And what's crazy is those ain't even necessarily the playmakers we need to fill for. We need a true wide receiver 1. We need a wide receiver 1. Rashee Rice, you are a dog, and I'll never take that from you. I think aside Patrick, you're probably my favorite player on the team, truth be told. And I think you got mad talent. I think we haven't seen everything we're going to see out of you yet. You've yet to hit the ceiling. I think you had some limited production, obviously, coming back off of injury. But I think there's a lot to see out of Rashee still. What I don't think is fair is how we drafted Rashee and just made him a wide receiver 1. Look at the damn Bengals. You got Jamar Chase, household name, absolute superstar. But you got T. Higgins right there next to him. And T. Higgins will go off right there. Look, you can cover Jamar all day. Jamar might go, he might catch 2 passes for 23 yards or whatever and have an off day. But T. Higgins going to catch 2 touchdowns for 82 on some mess. Like, it's that duo that you need. You got to have somebody to be able to alleviate that pressure. And in the past, like in Rashee's early days before the injury, that was Travis Kelce, because people still had to double Travis Kelce. We saw that Rashee was exploding off the line, and nobody could catch him. Nobody could get him on the shallow. He'd take a quick slant for 12, 15 yards, easy. But now, bro, it's not only they ain't double teaming Travis. I don't even think they got anybody on Travis anymore. The offense doesn't feel threatening at all. So, in that sense, we need some weaponry at receiver. And then for that weaponry to then flourish, we also need a good run game. Everybody that knows football knows that in order to create the pass, you got to dominate the run. And in order to dominate the run, you got to create the pass. It goes both ways. It's one of those things where, you know, if you want to take the top off, you got to have these safeties and these linebackers buckling down on a good run game, because you got somebody that can break one for fucking 60 out the backfield on the inside zone. Those are things to account for. We don't have anybody to do that. So when these guys already aren't worried about a run game at all, literally at all, Kareem Hunt's going to get 20, maybe 30 yards in the whole game. Isaiah Pacheco's going to get one 12, 13-yard run. Probably won't touch it again. Rashard might go for 30 on y'all there, and one carry, he won't touch the field again, because that makes sense. But yeah, bro, like when we ain't got a run game, and then you look over, you got a washed up, banged up Travis Kelce who's playing half-ass. You got an Xavier Worthy who is fast as hell but can't run a damn route for his life. And then you look at Rashee Rice, and he's got the size, he's got the posture, the structure of a competitive receiver. But again, he's not wide receiver 1 talent. I really see him as wide receiver 2 talent, somebody to bounce off of, you know what I'm saying? And I think that it comes down to a situation where they do need to equip Patrick with these tools while he's still, you know, I want to say it is prime. Truthfully, Patrick didn't have the most incredible year this year, but there's a lot of reasons as to why, man. And a lot of that comes from the structure around him. So I think the Chiefs got a long off season. In my personal opinion, I don't think that we fix it in 1 year. I think we start to fix it in 2. We start to see some uphill in that. But that's also the time that I would think we need to start looking at Big Red. Because I don't want to count next season against Big Red. We probably ain't going to have Patrick for a little bit of that time at least. So that's not exactly fair. But the year after that, man, we got to have something new going. 2027, 28 got to look different. Very different. But yeah, man, I mean, it's interesting times here in Kansas City, you know. Very humbling of an experience. You know, I don't see any fans really dwindling, which is really healthy. I think that's a really neat thing to see the city still, you know, show so much love and show so much support. But I know it's all in favor of, like, you know, we'll get them next time or something like that. And I'm sitting here in my head like, unless we do something drastically different this offseason, we ain't getting nobody next time. And that's my concern, because our front office, our coaching staff and whatnot have not exactly empowered me through their actions to make me think they see these issues we see as well too. And I have a hard time thinking that I see these problems and that, you know, we sit on our couch and decipher all these issues and they can't see it in real time. So it makes me even more frustrated to think they're ignoring it. I don't know. Do we take the rest of the year? Sure. Get a top 10 draft pick. In a perfect world, go get Jeremiah Love. Even though I said don't draft a running back, go get Jeremiah Love. No, but I'm playing though, man. I'm just playing, man. We need to draft high for some linemen, defensive linemen, offensive linemen, some secondaries. We got to use our draft picks wisely, very wisely. And I think that we need to understand. I think the biggest thing that we need to understand is that this isn't going to be a 1 year fix. If they could turn this around in 1 year, then I'm going to have to eat all the words I'm saying, because that would be incredible. But I don't see it. There's nothing about this team defensively, offensively, on special teams, when it comes to discipline, the coaching analysis, the offensive schemes. I'd say probably the most consistent thing right now Steve Spagnuolo's calling, and that's just because he's Steve. Like, Spags gonna be Spags, and we gonna get pressure when we gotta get pressure. But the defense isn't nearly as electric as it was last year, or by any means the year before that. So Chiefs Kingdom is a bit interesting right now, man. I'm waiting on my flight. I got my plane booked to Cancun. I saw a couple other guys in there as well too. I saw some guys kind of driving around, some Packers guys out front. But they wouldn't come in just yet. I told them we're keeping the seat warm for them. Lions, we see you out there too. Lions, we see you out there too. This is terrible, man. This is straight terrible, man. We are piss poor. Damn. Not to mention these niggas want to move over to Kansas, which truthfully I can't even really be too mad at, because Kansas got a lot to offer. I mean, they throwing everything at them. I mean, they dancing for them at this point. Missouri like, we'll redo the stadium, and Chiefs like, we really don't care if you do, because the Chiefs want a brand new stadium. They want a dome for the ability to host Super Bowl, get that venue going, which will bring in stupid revenue to Kansas's, entertainment districts. You look at, the Legends or anywhere in Overland Park. So it's a financial move, and I think it makes sense on most fronts except for Missouri's. And I think that we might not see the Chiefs in Missouri come 28, 29, something like that. But we'll see what the voters vote. In the meantime, man, I'm gonna go catch my flight before they leave me. But I'll make sure I send back plenty of pictures. I'm gonna have a couple coconuts with the lime in it. We're gonna kick it. We're gonna kick it down in Cancun, man. But that's gonna do it for today's episode, guys. Thank you so much for tapping into another one of the Social Club. I'm your host, Serg. Make sure you smash that subscribe button down below. We've got more videos coming out this week. One in specific actually is a Bears-Packers recap between yours truly, our co-host Hale, and my best friend Cody. And I gotta say, I'm excited to see what that one brings us. So make sure you turn on those notifications so you don't miss a thing coming next. And until then, it's been well.